Good evening. This is a special broadcast of Hong Kong Current Affairs of July 4th, 2013. Last year, we saw thousands of angry candidates for the new secondary school diploma protest at the doors of the Hong Kong Examinations Authority. They protested against the failure of the authority to solve the many irregularities reported by students on the setting of exam papers, the poor audio quality of the venues, and the inconsistency of the grading criteria. The students said they felt being used as guinea pigs since the ELA had later announced it would fine-tune its grading criteria for the next year. Students expressed feelings of betrayal by the Education Bureau, the government, and their teachers and schools for not speaking up. In their protest, they burned copies of their diplomas. Over the past school year, we have seen emotions run even higher. A higher number of student suicides was reported, along with hundreds of Form 6 students dropping out. The HKEAA reported 59,000 students taking the exam compared to 72,000 in 2012. As a result, the Hong Kong Student Federation set up a task force to collect views and came up with recommendations late in December. They found the lack of student participation in schools was the main source of frustration. They advised the government to implement compulsory student councils as part of the school-based management framework to increase student voices in schools. We reported in February that in various schools, student activists stood up to organize a provisional council only to be gagged, bullied, and intimidated by school management and teachers. Student discontent was rising to boiling point. Also in the US, we can see students protesting against their exams and taking drastic steps, such as setting classrooms and assembly halls on fire out of dissatisfaction with the school management. Video clips were circulated on YouTube and have received 12 million views. Hong Kong students set up Facebook pages to post messages of solidarity to the, as it is now called, the Occupy School movement in the US. Schools in Hong Kong strongly condemned their students' actions and started blocking Facebook on school service. This led to the incident in St. Francis Girls' College, a top ELA school in Weston, where several classrooms mysteriously caught fire. Fire Services Department still investigating, but suspects inventive science students have lit the fire, although no arrests have been made. Today in our program, we are honored to have as our guest to talk about these developments in the student world. She is here as part of our tour to make acquaintance with the leaders of the Southeast Asian countries. Welcome to the 45th President of the United States, Ms. Stephanie Germanotta. This must have been a frequent question. Do people who meet you on this tour actually forget your new job and call you Lady Gaga?
Well, I also need to get used to not calling them my little monsters.
What made you run for president?
I grew up with the thought of the American dream, yet to see it being pulled down by indecisive and scheming politicians. In 2011, so many problems were caused by a wrong mindset, a lack of creative, out-of-the-box thinking, which had made America such a great country. But everybody got lost in the woods of bureaucracy, and big companies could play the divide and conquer game. Seeing this caused me pain in my heart. We, Americans, are the children of diversity, and I'm one with my generation. I felt a moral obligation as a woman or a man to exercise my revolutionary power and make the world a better place.
You've completed 100 days of your presidency. What do you think is your most satisfactory achievement?
The most satisfaction I got was to drive a campaign against obesity from the bottom up. Students would evaluate their school meals and school exercise plans and compile a report according to guidelines set up by my Secretary for Health. They could give online feedback to us directly. Based on these results, we intend to run a program such as by the British government inspired by Jamie Oliver's school revolution. If we want to achieve our American dream, we need a healthy body and a clear mind.
Now that we have come to the situation of students in your country and in Hong Kong, how do you suggest the Hong Kong government deals with the current problems in schools.
It is important that we spread tolerance and equality for all students. They need to get back their self-esteem and not being bogged under loads of exams. So many students experience people who made them feel like they couldn't do anything. It's time that young people stand up for what they believe in. An example is 2 years ago when a Canadian student, Jackson Pierre, wanted to become student council chairman to combat bullying in schools. I sent him a message of support, which he used in his campaign.
Do you think, as a popular icon, to have more influence and more possible than other presidents?
I'm an artist, not a megalomaniac. I believe I can achieve certain things previous presidents couldn't, but every presidential term encounters his own antagonists. It's difficult to compare. I think the answer to your question will be up to the historians.